This is Short Hammer. It is the 19th of July, 2020, and this is Trading Zones. So this past week, I'll say the market was interesting. So let's take a peek at the MES. And what we see is, so we're here. If we go back, we saw this high right in this area. And when we got there, what do we do? And so this area is 32.21, right in here. We have a line there from before. Last time we got here, we couldn't advance above this area and we sold. And that's all the way down to 29.42. So if we're looking at this, we're back at the same area. This is the area I'm going to watch for and see if we reject the 32.20s and pull down here into the 31.80s or the 31.50s. And I know people are asking, how can the market be going up the same time that the coronavirus cases are going up also? So the reason is because the Fed is injecting money and people are just buying. People are following the trend. So don't get too caught up in thinking about the way that things should be. Just trade them the way that they are. So we'll see if we advance here above this 32.21. If not, definitely look for the 31.80, 31.56. Then 31.18 is doubtful but possible. So that's what I'll be watching on MES, those levels specifically, to see if we break through this 32.21, back test and hold, then we can definitely go. If we sell, then we may sort of bounce back up to that area as far as take a week and it pushes us back up and then maybe we can break. But I'm keeping a close eye on this because this is a very interesting setup going into the weekend. Next up, the Rust. So we see that here we caught a bid, push through, and nice push here. So maybe this is going to 15.16. But I'll keep an eye on this. We are holding the 14.53s as long as we hold that. And so this was interesting. Look here. 1, 2, 3, 4 days where it could not advance above the 14.53. Then it did pull back, leg through, back to that area, back to that area, back to that area, a lot of upper wicks. And now we're above and we're back testing. So what I'll be looking for is if we hold the 14.53, then maybe and if we break the previous high, which would be right here. Let me do that right now, actually. That's interesting. But right in here, this area here, right? We break that, then we should see it squeeze into 15.16. But it has to break first, and we have to have the volume as far as people, if it pops, people buying and squeezing this to the next area that we have, which is 15.16. So we'll see. Next up, Amazon. Pardon me. Now, Amazon all-time highs. And if you look at this, the strength of this move has been insane. And the sell-off or pullback has also been insane. So it looks like the 23rd, we will have earnings. And I do expect them to beat, but we'll see because it's a mixture of ad revenue and also the Amazon. So people come online to buy products, and the other thing is Amazon Web Services. So it's all going to be, and so Whole Foods. So it's going to be definitely interesting. Amazon has sort of quite a few different ways and different places where they're able to make money. But if you see how we're flattening out right here, I would watch the 30-20. And if we can get back through that, then I'll watch us to the upside to test this area here, which is 3068. If we pop 3068, then 3193, 3200 is on the way. So I'm watching this pretty closely. And let's see. Yeah, needs to hit the different levels of the candle. But that's exactly what I'm watching. I think this is interesting here. If you look at what the futures are doing, sort of going sideways, almost as if they've lost the momentum and excitement to the downside. But Amazon, and I use this brown line because this is not a area that's strong, meaning multiple interactions and structure and those types of things. It's just a high. So I'll pop that in there. We'll see from here we bounce and we go to the 30-20, 30-68, maybe 31-93. We'll see how this goes. But it'd be great if this sold a little bit more down to 27.81. Just look at this natural resting place. That's not going to happen right now. So keep an eye on Amazon. See what we do. We'll see what we can do here if we're able to get back over the 30-20s and get a little bit of volume. Next up is Netflix. Pull back here and leg down. Okay. So if we're looking at this, interesting. Okay. So we went through the 490. Went even lower. Look at that drop. Then we bought it right back up. Okay. So the beauty of Netflix is that what we mentioned in our prior video about Netflix was that look for them to pop. Why? Because it does not look as if the reopening schedule is going well. And Netflix is one of the companies that profited just as far as new customers. COVID has helped companies like Netflix a lot because they're they need entertainment, they need something to do when they're home, and a lot of people are turning to Netflix. We'll see. Let's see, 490, 504, 529, 553, 542, 550, 567. So that's what we're going to watch. And our immediate watch is, do we hold this 490 and get a pop right into the 504s? So that'll be interesting next week. That's what I'll be watching on Netflix. Next up, NVIDIA. We see the push, the curve, and then now maybe it's just gathering the energy to push this through. So that's pretty interesting. It looks like we should see 382.23. Okay. So if this doesn't pop over the 410s and squeeze and we get a little bit of sell side, this could be a precursor of what's going to happen here on NVIDIA. So we'll see if we stay above the 401. And if not, just let's see. Just keep your eye out and look for a drop into the 382s. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Microsoft, a little bit of sell side here, but we're still holding structure. So we might see a dip buy off of this 202 area and a push back up into 208, then 213. So that's going to be interesting for um for Microsoft. Let's see if this bounces. If we hold this 202, then we'll be looking for the 208s. If we roll the 202 and I see bearish candlestick formations, and if you ask what are those, this is bearish candlestick formations. And so if we continue this path, either we're going to get a pop or a sell. And we see Apple. Look at these pops trying to get through 397, trying to get to the 400 area. Just couldn't quite get there during the cash session. Earnings coming up on the 30th. So definitely be careful. But this thing will be juiced. So what we see is from the rejection here at 397, we should see this area as buy. See if we can make the 37.89. That could be interesting. But Apple's up. We'll see if Apple remains up when those numbers come out. Next up is CI. And just look at this selling. Headed into earnings. I'm going to be watching this to see what the reaction is. Usually, if earnings is good and they beat, which for me, they usually do, you're going to get a push. And this might be the perfect opportunity to get a nice, let's see, nice little YOLO. It's actually a strong. So we dropped to the 173, push back up over the 181, and we want to squeeze 190 or higher. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. But first things first is that we need to regain 181 for this account. 181, 190. That is interesting. But I'll definitely be watching CI for earnings to see which way they go. And usually you can watch all the hospital tickers while you're waiting, because this could be interesting. Like if they miss, then they may drag down a few of the other healthcare companies. If they beat, some of those companies may run. So I will be watching on the 30th. Is that the 30th? Is what this says. It's like earnings is the 30th. How this resolves itself, and I'll be scalping in between. But look at this, perfectly drop into 173, buy back out of that area, right into the 181 curve, potentially back down. So we'll see how this works out. But this is very interesting. This is REGN. So we're almost in a channel in between this area that we were waiting for a breakout. So this is 623.80 and 65.55. This is interesting. So if we look at REGN, we had attempts to push through the 650s. It has not worked yet. Pull back up, pull back, and so at some point we're going to build that this muscle is where we're gonna take the setup right and not second guess it. If we looks a little bit weak, then we jump in. If we jump in and it looked weak but it's actually gonna run, then we just exit. But REGN is interesting. I'm not looking at any of the fundamentals. I don't know any of the news that's going on with the company. I'm just looking at the chart, and it looks like when we get up here, around 644 and higher, that it gets a little bit difficult. Let's see. This is 48. Okay. But definitely keep an eye on REGN. This might be another channel that it's in between the 655 and the 630, 635 ish. So we'll see if we push up to here, if we're able to advance above. And what I would watch for is a break, back test hold, and then a video or text. But if it breaks above and holds, then it's going to on to the next level. So that's what we're going to watch. Watch that 655.12 on REGN. So then Goldman Sachs, been all over the place. But we may be headed back to test this, the top of this zone. I may look for a trade here to dig and see. But we see this pop. This is a relief sell. And we'll see if we see another bounce that takes us up here. But as we can see, and it's actually right here, once we saw a curve or this upper wicks, which shows that price will reverse. If you see to the downside, it means price will reverse to the up, and the upside price will reverse to the down. That's what it's saying. So Goldman Sachs, we'll see if we're going to back test this channel. If so, I'll probably get long and ride this back up to the 214 area. Excuse me. But we'll see if we catch a bid and really get back over the 214s. This is interesting. Let's see how this shakes out. Actually, hold on, before I go. Okay, you tell them a little bit off. So if we can't get above 214s, look for a retracement down to the 207s, then maybe even lower. But we definitely will prefer there to be an alliance. So let's see, an alliance or alignment, I should say, more like an alliance, an alignment. And we'll see if this holds this 207.79, if the buyers step in and give us a push. Very interesting here. Here it didn't hold. Back test. Tried to back test. Okay. So here, we'll see if we hold the 207s, if we pull that down to there. And so that's what I'm watching. If we pull down the 207, look at this area here, 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 all the upper wicks. I would look for the buyers to step in and try to squeeze us from the 207.79 if we get there. If we get above the 214.92s, watch for a breakout and a retest of the 226.66. And looking at the SPY, right back to the area. Look at this. Upper wicks, sell, right back there, trying to break, hold, and, see if we get a squeeze and a run out of this. When we're up this high, me personally, I'm trading with pure pivots. And that's because in order for me to, like, my trading style is retracement. So, we'll see. We're near these highs here. We'll see what they do. But if we go back below 320, then we're going to watch for 315. Then keep an eye out for 306. Let me see. Yep, 307 here. So we'll see how this resolves itself. It looks a little bit funny, but these last candles looks like it's going to expand. If you like this video, please tap the like button and also subscribe to our channel, Power of Pivots, on YouTube, where you can look forward to receiving videos from me but also videos from Elisa as she describes how she utilizes the power of pivots to be able to find great intraday plays, swing plays, and pre-market penny stock plays to be able to find those for you. Please remain safe. Have a wonderful week of trading. Thank you for your time.